So let me just start with the agenda. We're gonna do introductions today of the team from Balon USA. Then we're gonna talk about psychologist Marinela Maneiro, then Balon USA history, about background, and then Marinela, she's gonna do this presentation for us, how to support in a positive way to your player when he's playing organized sport. So everybody can, you guys can hear me? All right. So, all right. So let's start. My name is Germán Zarate-Bohorquez. I'm a founder of Balon USA. I'm an executive director. We started this program in 2009, and then just wanted to present the rest of the team of Balon USA, which is.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Duncan. I'm Germán's wife, and I'm also a teacher in Jeffco Public Schools. Well, right now I'm a dual language instructional coach, and I did teach for a couple of years in McElwain Elementary in Adams 12. And I'm happy to be here, part of this great organization. I would just add real quick that as a teacher, I saw huge growth in my students when they participated in soccer or any kind of organized sport and got physical activity and exercise. It really helped balance their life. And I'm a huge fan of not only participating in physical activity for the sake of being healthy, but also it can really help a kid grow in their confidence in school in all kinds of different ways.
Next, we have another member of the team is Ilse Ayala Fernandez. Ilse, please.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you. I am the customer service representative for now, and I've been working for Balon not too long, but it's been a pleasure to work with them. I love this. I love Balon. It's a great opportunity for kids to learn how to play a sport. My two girls are involved with Balon as well, and they love it. So yeah, I'm the one that has been sending you the messages, and I have been the one calling you. It's nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Ilse. Yeah, this is Ilse, you know, the community support, and that's the voice of the Balon. You've been calling parents, correct? Talking with them. So now they know you, they meet you. So thank you so much for being here. Now let's introduce psychologist Marinela Maneiro-Goodwin. Amanda is gonna read a little bit about the background of Marinela.
All right, so we invited Marinela here today because she has a BA in clinical psychology and a master's degree in organizational development. She works as a consultant and mental health professional. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, we're gonna just introduce, but she's not doing her presentation.
Not yet.
So you want me to read the whole thing right now?
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, so I'll finish, sorry, with her introduction. She works as a consultant as a mental health professional in the areas of parenting, effective communication, stress management, mindfulness, and substance abuse prevention. She's been working primarily with the Latino community in the Denver-Boulder region in various capacities, focusing on issues regarding family dynamics, stress reduction, and education to improve people's quality of life and help them make better choices. She works with community agencies and partners to offer culturally appropriate services for the families. And we'll hear a little bit more from her in a minute. Germán is going to give us some background on the history of the organization of Balon USA.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, so our organization started in 2009 with we, as a parents, we decided to support our community. My two daughters were in Foster Elementary School from Jeffco Schools. Then we decided to start this beautiful program to support our community, to start doing exercise, to start playing with each other. But then we saw a lot of, interest from the students wanted to play with another team. So we start this beautiful idea that playing just friendly matches. We were playing with the YMCA's. Some schools came to play with us. We were also registered our team in other leagues. We lost all games. Then we decided, once we noticed that a lot of students, it was the first time trying to play soccer, trying to, be in a team, try to be confident. We thought, all right, let's start our own program, and let's invite more schools. Is when we start receiving more support from the city of Arvada, Jeffco Public Schools, Colorado Rapids with the Soccer for Success. So at the end, wow, we had it in the beginning with 18s. So we started our league, but also Soccer for Success came aboard, supporting our program with gear, with the stipends for coaches. And then we realized that in the same time, we wanted to support our parents to be positive, to be big supporters, big cheerleaders and the side. So we invite, we partner with Jefferson Center for Mental Health, and also each school, they have specialists, uh, counselor supporting the school. So they were part of this presentation too. So at the end, we were supporting with ideas how to support your child when he's playing soccer. So so that's but in 2018, the Colorado Rapids Soccer for Success decided not to support anymore the program, and then is when I just step up and say, nope, let's do the nonprofit organization, register this organization, and keep serving our community, with this low cost, because at the end, working in collaboration with other entities that support to reduce the costs of this league or this program. So we were talking with each school. Each school was able to support our program too, and parents were also supporting the program. So then in 2019, we received our 501c3 as a nonprofit organization. And then that's when we were so happy because more organizations were supporting us. Hold on a second.
Somebody wants to get in.
Yeah. So the mission and vision of the Balon USA is to provide high quality, low cost after school soccer opportunities for students. That means we wanted to put together a plan and the budget, how we can find, resources like the gear for the students, how we can stripe in the fields, how we can pay the referees. And we saw, the support. The vision is to eliminate the opportunity gap that sometimes our students are facing when they cannot participate in organized sport. I wanted to ask you this because I don't know if you haven't tried to register your son or daughter in another sport, how expensive sometimes is to put your child in those leagues. And in addition to that, you have to buy the gear. And in addition to that, you have to, the transportation is far away. It's very, it's hard for parents when, we have busy schedules. Sometimes barely we can make it, pick it up or daughter or son at the school and then take it to the, to the practices in another sport. This is why we decide to do after school at the school buildings and use the resources because the schools, they have the beautiful fields. And I can tell you, we can play there, we can practice there. And that's when we started back in 2010. We were using the facilities in Foster Elementary School. Then we were in Seacrest Elementary. Now we are playing in North Arvada Middle School. So this program is getting a lot of support also our vision it was to engage parents, teachers, and community leaders. Most of our program, we have like two teachers in Arvada program. In this program in Thornton, we have one community leader from Thornton Elementary School, and then we have other leaders. We have the students from high school. They wanted to support this program. So that's the idea to continue. And that, having this support, this collaboration helps a lot, to continue serving the community. So as you can tell, this program is a developmental, just recreational soccer focus and fun. But that means we wanted to be, present. We wanted for them to have a good time. And this, last season, we were able to engage 10 schools. So it says there are 6 schools, but there are 10 now. Probably we are planning to do 12 schools for Jefferson communities. Now, many of the coaches are community members and bilingual, which is important for us, especially some parents are only Spanish speakers, some parents only are English speakers. So we wanted to have, that culture relevant touch for communicate very well with our parents and also with the students. We practice twice a week, an hour and a half, and we have one Saturday game for 8 weeks program. So Thornton, as you know, is only for 4 weeks, but we are planning, hopefully, the district is open to continue with this collaboration and then maybe extend this program to 8 weeks. Also, I wanted to add another collaboration with the city of Thornton and also Parks and Recs, because thanks to them, we were able to use their facilities to practice and also to play soccer. So, we wanted to continue with this, but I think the reason we are here is to hear about this social emotional workshop. Then Marinela Maneiro is going to present, which is very good to have her. Marinela, I think it's your time. I'm sorry for taking a little bit longer, but I think it's all yours.
Thank you, Germán. And thank you for having me. I think it's you talk. The thing that you said about your organization, I think is a perfect introduction for the thing that we are going to talk tonight. I think the first thing that I would like to say is not because I am a psychologist, you guys has a problem, or the students or the players. I think Germán and Balon USA wants to create a culture where everybody feel not only welcome, but part of a community. And I think that is why we would like to share with you some ideas around what is your role as a parent in your child's participation in this program. Because I think part of the thing that you said, Germán, is again, how we can be part of this culture, and also how we can support the kids that are participating in this program. I think it's a lot of you maybe, or some of your kids maybe already participate in other programs, in other sports, but I think it's important to understand what is your role. And I would like to say why we are here is basically because you are part of your child support team. Not only because you are parents, but also because you are part of this organization that's going to create this space for your child to grow, not only as a as a part of the sport, but also in life, how to create experience that they can take also as part of their life experience. And the goal is for your children to learn while having fun. And I think this is important, especially in sports, because most of the time parents, we want for our kids to be competitive, and it's nothing wrong with that. I think it's important for the kids to try to reach any level that they feel that they can, but we cannot lose the perspective around that we want for our child or the kids to learn and having fun, because that is part of their development too. Sometimes we put so much pressure in our kids and they are not able to learn the way that they should. Um, and I think Amanda mentioned something around education and her role as a teacher. I think we need to make sure that we understand the sport and education are part of the same coin. I think when we talk about sports, we are thinking about the kids, they learn leadership skills. And when we talk about leader, we are not saying that in this case, we are not saying it's one person and a lot of followers. We think in the kids participating in specifically in this team, and everybody has something to contribute in the team. And sometimes the leadership skills could be part of the role that they play in the team, but also part of the whole team experience. It's not one person only, it's the combination of these skills that bring the leadership opportunity for the kids participating. It's important to know also that if every time that the kids are part of a sport or a team, they start creating good habits, not only physically, but also mentally. Habits of responsibility, habits of being part of something bigger than them, habits of, for example, make sure that they have their uniform ready, that they are on time, they practice, that they respect each other. And this is something, that is why I said it's something that they learn not only for the experience in the sport, but for life in general. Um, Also, we know, especially that this age group is important to start getting used to move, to participate in sports, to be active. We know there is pretty much an epidemic that our kids, they spend so much time sitting in front of an electronic or the TV, and sometimes in school too. The system, sometimes some schools doesn't allow kids to move enough. It's part of the development that they need to move, they need to incorporate movement to their life. And I think also as an adult, we should model that. Sometimes we bring our kids to do some sports, but we are not active either. But as part of their learning, it's important that they start thinking about moving or sports also as part of life and as part of have fun and pleasure for movement. Like I said before, be part of a team,
That's
teach
another one.
responsibility. Because it's not only me being part of something. I am part of a team. I am part of something that I share with other people, and that is something that we need more and more. Most of us, or a lot of us, especially if some of us are immigrants, we grew up in communities. So in general, I think, in the past, we used to grow up in communities, and now more and more, we are more isolated, not only for the pandemic. I think before the pandemic also, we were not, or we are not spending a lot of time or creating community. And this is something that I would like to invite you to reconsider, because our children, they need not only the adults, their parents, but other adults in their life. They can, be trusted adults, and they can, be part of their growing experience too. Um, one thing that we know with the sports is increased self-esteem and self-confidence. That is why it's so important, the messages that as adults we give to our kids, and we are going to talk more about it. No, our role in this sport is important because we want for our kids to, or the kids to have experience. They reinforce their self-esteem, and self-confidence. They to present. To show up with strong enough to be part of this sport. Another thing is, like I said before, sports, especially team sports, um, reinforce more collaboration and less individualism. Um, Again, it's nothing wrong with that, but I think we are better off if we have a community that we can, rely on. And sport, team sport, especially as part of being part of Balon USA, reinforce that, how we can create this community that we feel proud and we are part of that. Encourage teamwork. We know that we cannot do things alone. We need others. Be part of the team, especially develop this skill. There is not only me, I need to be there for others too. Like I already talked about the sense of community, the importance of recognize myself as part of something that I feel proud and I want to be part of. Appreciation for others and interpersonal relationships. I think especially this year we learn that we need others to be successful. We need the contact, we need communication, we need to know that we have support around, and be part of the sport actually help with this need. Um, Sorry. And I know that most of your kids are around this age, 8 to 10, 7 to 11, if I am correct. And I am going to talk a little about what happened, what is the characteristics that we can see in kids around this age, between 8 and 10 years old, social emotional development characteristics that we have to understand in order also to understand what to expect. Because sometimes when we are not we don't know, we are asking our kids more than they are part of their development, mental, especially social emotional and mental development. In this age, kids start being more independent. That is why sometimes they want to do things by themselves. Sometimes parents are, maybe we tend to be protective, especially in this with this age group, but they need to feel independent because it's part of their development. Another thing is they are more and more aware of the consequences. They know really well what is good or bad. What are the consequences for their actions? And that is why we have to make sure that, for sure, we give them independence, but at the same time, we are clear about the limits, about the boundaries. They start paying more attention to friendship and teamwork, and that is a perfect fit with this, being part of a team, because they recognize that it's important and it's part of their development to be part of a team. They want to be accepted by their friends, and sometimes this is difficult for some parents to understand, because sometimes we feel like they do more things like their group, the kids in their group do. And sometimes we say, okay, you don't have to do what your friend does. But remember, it's not that we are not important in their life, it's that in this age, they start thinking about what other people think about them. And they want to be accepted, they want to belong and to be part of the group. And sometimes this is difficult for some kids to be part of a group, to make friends. But also it's important for us to pay attention because it's part of their development. They also start understand their emotions and try to manage them. And this is really important because in the end, parents, we are emotional coaches. We have to model the emotion. We cannot control emotions, We only can manage emotion. We cannot control what happened outside of us. We can control what we decide to do when the thing that happened outside us. This emotional response is the way that we also teach our kids to manage their own emotions. This is important in sports because sometimes they are going to lose and sometimes they are going to win. And these strong emotions, it's important to learn how to manage that. Like I said, the first thing that we have to do is to model how to manage this emotion. They don't pay much attention to directions. And this is something that the coaches know, and that is why they try to make sure that they give instructions, in small chunks, and follow through with reinforcements and things like that. And that is something that we can help also as a parents, helping them to understand the instructions and to pay attention what the coaches said or what is expected for them during the games. Like I mentioned too, is more the kids start comparing themselves with others. And sometimes this, if we are not paying attention to that, helping them to understand that they are perfectly fine. They are no less or more than other people, especially in a team. It's something that's going to affect their self-esteem, but it's totally normal. They start saying, well, maybe so-and-so is better than me. And that is when we have to intervene and ensure that they are doing the best that they can in order to be part of that. And when we talk about this age group, I would like to mention that when we talk about especially emotions, if you see, this is a picture of the brain, the prefrontal is this part of the brain here, the light blue, is the last part the human being is developing the human being. And I would like to ask before I continue, if you know when the brain stop growing. It's not that the brain stop completely growing, but in terms of the part of the brain, when the brain stop growing, which age you think it stop? If you know. Alicia?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking.
Oh no, my daughter was talking. I'm sorry, so I was responding.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Somebody know what is the age of when the brain stop growing? Again, it's not that we know now that it's the neuroplasticity, and this is the brain it can change. And that is why we can continue learning and doing things differently and changing habits and things like that. But the main part of the brain stopped growing at 25 years old. The part that is last is actually the prefrontal, the frontal lobe that is here. And why this is important in this conversation, because this is the part, all the, actually it's called executive brain, executive brain function. And it thinks about, when people think about the consequences and empathy and the future, and all the part that can control better our emotions, actually the last part is development. And when we think about this age group that we are talking about, the part is totally development, actually is the amygdala, or the cerebro primitivo brain, what do you call, reptile brain, and is the amygdala. And why this is important, because this part of the brain, and I am showing my hand because I want to use my hand as a model. This is the front of the brain, and this is the part is totally development. This is the part that control the responses to stress. Control the general emotions. Like when your child is crying, what is your tendency? What is our tendency when a child is crying and we don't think he has a reason to cry? What we say to our children when they are crying, and we don't think that they have a reason to cry. What would you say?
You say, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, what's the matter with you? I am
What's
going to
the
give you
matter with you?
yeah, I am going to give you a reason to cry, no?
Go clean something.
Exactly. But I want to say that that is the response that they have to do, because when somebody feel that there's something happening and is they are not getting what they need, this is the response that they have to do, because it's part of the brain development. It's like when we say a baby is crying too much or is crying, and maybe the parents are going to hold them, and somebody say, no, don't hold the baby too much because it's going to get spoiled. That is not true. When we don't know if a child needs something or wants something, we go with the need. If a child is crying, the only response that we have to do is to use empathy. Maybe to be there, to let the child cry, and maybe later to say, okay, we can talk about this later. And this is important because sometimes, especially in sports, especially when we have big emotions, adults try to for the child to think about why they are crying or why they are asking for something that they shouldn't, without knowing that the prefrontal brain, part of the brain, is still not developed. And sometimes as adults also we respond with our emotions. When a child, for example, is screaming, or we immediately do the same. No? And the thing that we have to do with any big emotion is to be present for the child and to try to help the child to calm down, or take the time to calm down by themselves. And why I am talking about this, because part of the reason that we are talking about social emotional development is that we have to learn about the brain and how the brain works, especially in this age group, in order to support our child when they have big emotions in any situation, especially in a teen sport situation. When we talk about, I would like to mention, I like to mention this because maybe you can identify yourself with which style are you as a parent in this, when we talk about sport. For example, we have the parent styles that we talk. The driver is the parent that go back and forth, bringing the kids to the games, etc. But doesn't participate too much, and that is fine. It's nothing wrong with that. But I want for you to understand that sometimes we have these different styles, and which one we want to foster more. We have the positive parents that maybe they don't participate too much, but they are there, they encourage the kids, etc. We are the parents that are committed to the team, and they they go to every game, and maybe they volunteer and they bring the snacks and they are there all the games. And now, and I will call, I won't say it's positive or negative, but we want more of these three type of parents, no, in our team: the driver, the positive, the committed. But sometimes we know that also we cross the line and we start being the trainers or the coaches, no? It's the parents that are, in the outside the field, but they are screaming and say, you have to do this and run faster, and and that is not so good for the kids, no? We also have the parents that are competitive and try to actually to coach the kids, and sometimes saying things to the coaches or to the kids: you are not doing enough, you have to play harder, etc. The parents that we definitely don't want as part of the team is the toxic parents. They are the parents, and maybe you see some parents, they are start not only trying to be competitive, but also saying bad things to other players or the coaches, etc. We want more of the these other type of parents. They are more involved, but still respect the limits and the roles they are created in the team. No? In the end, what is our role? What is your role as a parent? And maybe you already know this, but remember that the experience of a child when approaching any sport is conditioned by the mentality of their parents. And like I said, it's not that we don't believe in competition, but in Balon USA, we want for your kid to have a positive experience and learn having fun, but it's not a competitive type of thing. And again, that is not good or bad. It's the way that this program was created. And maybe your child is going to develop in, being better and better player. And maybe you have to look for other teams for your child to play. But for now, it's important that you keep this mentality that they are here to have fun and to learn, for sure, all the things that we already talked. It is not only a sport, but it's also a training for life. And also is the way that your kids are seeing you also as a role models as part of the team too. The child must be able to enjoy the sport. Sometimes some parents have the kids in sports, not for the kids, but for themselves. And it's important to check on that. No, if your child is not having fun, it's because maybe this is not the right place for them. The child must be able to live the experience without having the fear to your reaction. I can see sometime in games, I can see the kids playing and watching what the parents are saying or what the parents are going to react if they did something bad or they made a mistake. I think it's something that we are not, we need to make sure that we create this environment where the kids feel free to be a kid and not afraid for the adult's reaction. And like I said before, when we talk about the parents' role, we are emotional trainers. That is our role, especially in this age group. And when we say that, it's two ways that we are showing that. One is through the example how we self-regulate ourselves. We are going to feel emotions like, every other human being, but it's the way that we regulate ourselves that show the kids how they regulate themselves. Remember that we also teach for experience because people have to make mistakes to learn, and it's okay to make mistakes. And that is something that we want actually to reinforce. Unfortunately, we live in a society that maybe show more the successes and not so much of the mistakes. But we know that, for example, if you have an Apple in your iPhone in your hand, it's not because one day, the Apple people, they wake up and say, okay, we're going to make this phone. If they made a lot of mistakes before they can have a success. And that is the mentality we have to have. Make mistake is part of life, and it's important for a child to make a mistake and do it better the next time. And that is our role to support that. That is why we need to learn to regulate our own emotions and promote a positive emotion in our children without giving instruction or criticizing, etc. We need to accept the role of the coach without interfering in the approaches. Maybe we don't agree with things that happen during the game or during practice, but we can approach the coaches, Herman, Amanda, and talk with them about it, but never in front of the kids. Like I said before, accept successes and failure without making, any negative comments around, what happened in the game or in the practice, and accept their role in the field. Remember that you are a role model and your behavior shows more than than anything else. And change expectations. We don't want to win, we want to enjoy. And again, it's nothing wrong with win, but the idea is what is our expectation is to enjoy. no competition, is more learning and fun, having fun, more teamwork and less individualism, and we are a community. That is like the four big main points that we want to bring to this culture. Idea for success: keep in mind the intention to enjoy, and that is as a summary. Maintain a balance between soccer and other activities. I mean, the sports are good, but the kids also need to, the life cannot revolve around one thing. They can, they can enjoy more the sport if they have other things that they want to do. Promote the effort, not the results. Being present with the child experience, and that means that sometimes I also see parents, maybe they are there in during the game, but maybe they are, in their cell phones or talking or, not paying attention. I think it's really valuable if your child see you present during the game. Accept your child like, he or she is. They are perfect the way they are. They don't have to be, somebody else to be loved and be part of or any team. They are the way that they are, and we have to start accepting that. Be positive and encouraging, even when the things are not going well. Actually, more when things are not going well. Be aware of the environment. Soccer is a collective sport. Respect for the community in general. It doesn't matter if they win or not. And I want to leave you with this quote from this writer, American writer, Maya Angelou, that she said, "I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And that includes your kids. They will remember how we make them feel. Okay. Well, that is all I have for you today. I don't know if you have any questions, comments, or anything else you want to add.
Alicia looks like has a question.
Alicia.
Hi. So my girls just recently started, like just last week or so, and they both love it so much. And I just wanted to understand, is it ending in 2 weeks, or are they going to a new team in 2 weeks?
No, it's ending. I think the last game is going to be July 10th, because the program is a pilot program with Adams 12. And also this is a collaboration with the city of Thornton.
Okay.
I'm going to continue, talking with the Adams 12, make sure, the parents, you as a parent or all parents, if you guys like the program, need to talk with, the principal or also with the district and say, yes, I wanted to continue this program to be here in Adams 12. So obviously we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. My oldest, she was born with club feet, so she has a great opportunity just to move her feet where it's not in such a competitive way. With other kids, she still gets to physically move and have that function. And her younger sister Grayson, she's a little bit more active and aggressive in that way.
Yeah,
she's funny,
I coached
but
them
she
yesterday.
has a good time.
Yeah, it was fun coaching them yesterday. Yeah, and this is, the idea of the program is to, let them play for fun, have the opportunity to be in organized sport with the striping fields, with goals, nets, referee, coaches, and little by little they can, experience the experience to play a sport and feeling, living the experience. And then if they wanted to continue with soccer, maybe after 6th grade, then they can go to a different level. For us, the most important in this stage is to let them play, have fun, and then promote efforts is important. So I think the promoting efforts like Marinela was saying, being present, you know, and then you as a supporter, I think, thank you all parents for supporting their child in this stage, because this is wonderful. This is for them, you know, a perfect experience, you know, and as you, I can tell you, Justin, that your daughters, they were very engaged. They were doing everything. I mean, they had a blast, and all the kids, I can tell you, having a good time. So we will continue. So by in August is when we're gonna start sending the information, and we're gonna start 8 weeks program starting in mid-September and finish the first week of November. Yeah. Any other question for Marinela?
I'm sorry. So my phone kind of cut a little bit. When did you say you were sending the new notices out? And I have loud children. I apologize.
Don't worry. I think in August, mid-August is when we're gonna send all the information to the schools. I think the school
Okay.
in Adams 12 to start in probably the 15th.
Okay. And is it going to be the same grade levels? So like from third grade to fifth grade?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Third, fourth, and fifth graders, co-ed teams. Doesn't matter what the level of soccer. Everybody's welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Because my daughter, she's in it right now and she absolutely loves it. She's with Coach Annalise. So she absolutely loves it. She was sad because today's practice was canceled, but she can't wait for the game as long as it doesn't rain.
Absolutely. And Ilse can tell you, Ilse Ayala, she was she started, you know, coordinating programming Edgewater and Lakewood, and now in the beginning her two daughters didn't play at all, but then later on, for one reason, they start playing and practicing, and now they love the sport. No, it's
Yeah, my daughter loves. I have 4 kids. I have now a first grader, 2 second graders, and my daughter is going into fifth grade. So my son wants to play soccer, but he's not quite old enough in the grade level. So I have to wait for him to become in the third grade.
absolutely. Oh, what's her name? I'm sorry. Your daughter's name?
Addison Brooks.
Addison. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Absolutely, and you will see the huge difference from the first week to of the season. I mean, obviously, this is only 4 weeks. It was kind of fast, but I mean, in the 8 weeks, the improving is a lot. I mean,
Yeah, she really enjoys playing soccer, and if it's something that she can continue, I would love for her to keep doing it because she loves getting ready for soccer practice and she loves getting ready for the games and having our family come and doing all the stuff that she needs to do. It's so amazing to see the spirit that she has for it. So
cool. That's exactly what we're all about, giving an experience that the whole family can enjoy, having fun, supporting our kids, watching them grow in confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun.
Yeah, every game we're right there at the line right there. I have to tell my kids to scoot back a little bit so they don't get hit by the balls or the referee or any of the players. I'm like, scoot back a little bit. But other than, I mean, it's absolutely amazing that we got this opportunity to have Addison play in soccer.
Yeah, and I wanted to also let parents know now, since we have 15 parents, we're gonna be playing against parents in the last game. So be ready, get ready. You know, we want parents also to be in a team and also against the kids. You know, so it is something fun. They love that experience. You know, playing against parents. Just 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
So do your stretches.
I better make sure I have my good shoe, my play shoes on is what my kids call them.
Yeah. I would just add to, I put it in the chat and I'll email to fill out the survey that I put in the chat. It helps us get better at doing these presentations and it lets us know what parts were the most helpful. And it's also another way to prove to our funders that we do these types of workshops. We value it immensely, as do the people that help donate and fund this programming so that it's free to you guys. So it really is super important to us for a couple of different reasons that you fill out the surveys. So that would be really great if you could do that either now or in the next couple of days. I'll also email it to you. Do you see that question in the chat?
Yeah.
That's negotiating with the district.
Yeah, the question in this, yeah, we're gonna have a meeting with Adams 12, and then because obviously since the city of Thornton is participating in this, always collaborating, obviously we have to open the opportunity to everybody, but we wanted to make sure, you know, that we have the right resources. You know, 10 teams, 12 teams is very, I mean, it's a lot of kids. We are talking about 150 kids. Sometimes we wanted to bring all the resources and everybody to be able to play and to have a coach. So bear with us. I will let you guys know, especially for those already participating. We will contact you guys. We have your email. You know, everybody knows Ilse Ayala. She's gonna call you guys and make sure, you know, receiving the whole information. If you have questions, probably Ilse can answer those questions, or myself or Amanda. But I think this is awesome. You guys are participating. You know, we ended up, the goal was to register 72 students, and we ended up with 80 students, so 6 teams. But I think it would be nice to have the 8 weeks program. So any other questions? All right, so I think Marinela, no questions for you at this time, but obviously they're gonna file the survey and we will share with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you, Marinela, for your time and also for the nice presentation. And thank you for the parents for being here. I think it was wonderful. All right, I'll see you Saturday.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.